welcome everybody to an episode for the 45th anniversary of Jaws. And with me talking about this PG rated film that is 2 hours and 4 minutes long, basically released today on June 20th, 1975. Here with me is none other than the fiancé,
Tessa Baker.
And, 45 years later, we'll take a look at how long and how well this achievement from Steven Spielberg has lasted throughout the years. So, if you don't know Jaws, which, with some generations nowadays coming into it may not know it, but Jaws is about a killer shark unleashes chaos on a beach community. It's up to a local sheriff, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer to hunt the beast down. So without further ado, let's get a bigger podcast. So, Tessa, just out of curiosity, we started off with the first memory or first impression of Jaws. So what was your first memory or impression of Jaws?
First time I saw it, I'd have to say that I was definitely young when I saw it. I actually lived in Florida at the time. We lived near beaches and things like that, so after I had seen the film and saw this killer shark that was just going around in the ocean killing people, it kind of made me a little weary about going swimming in my own oceans when I lived in Florida. Kind of makes you think twice about what's swimming around in the water and if something's going to come up and eat you. Right.
And so it kind of made you not want to go into the water right away then.
Yeah, when I was a child, that was like my first impression is like, oh gosh, I wouldn't want to go swimming in the water and have this thing meet me in the depths.
Yeah.
Pretty scary thought as a kid.
Yeah. No, it's definitely one of those movies where once you watch it as a little kid, it makes you kind of fear the water a little bit because it's just like, oh God, I don't know if I want to go back into it without support or some sort of...
You question it.
Yeah, without some sort of way of questioning, am I safe, am I not safe? Because of, you just never know what's gonna happen. So anyway... what I find interesting is that Jaws was actually on a budget of $7 million, and I'm so sorry for the fireworks that you hear in the background. We got retarded people already celebrating their July 4th, I guess. It's very interesting, though, to see that sort of budget, but then again, if we look at the actual real model that they use for Jaws and stuff, it's actually quite impressive. And then especially now where you can go on YouTube and look at how they even redid it. So they reconstructed it so that it doesn't look old anymore. It look kind of sort of brand new. And it's actually a really fantastic video. If you haven't seen it, I'll see if I can find it and drop a link in the video. But for my first impression, when I saw it with my dad back in the day, it made me, question, going back out in the ocean and stuff, especially when we used to go to, Old Orchard Beach, Maine and stuff, where it was just I don't know if I feel comfortable anymore, because you just never know, what sort of shark had the advantage in that salt water and stuff like that. So I don't know, kind of came uncomfortable, but then soon enough it it's whatever, because people tell you, you only have a 1 out of 1 out of 10 chance that a shark will actually do something to you. But you just never know, though, for sure.
You could still be that 1 in 10 chance.
Exactly. There's still that 1 of 10 chance in the back of your mind, though. For sure. But yeah, it definitely made me question my safety in the ocean again, though. That's for sure. As a little kid. So, the victims. We'll talk about the victims and how well they did to prevent any more victims, sort of deal. Especially with the opening scene with Chrissy. Well, that kind of sort of came at no surprise. You know, you had these two people go out in the middle of the night and
to go skinny dipping and whatever, have some fun.
Yep. And then, of course, one of them got out of the water, and then Chrissy stayed in, and, well, she became the shark meat.
Yeah, the guy passed out on the beach before he even got a chance to go in the water with her. She went in ahead, and, of course, this was at night, so she ended up becoming Jaws'
meal for the night.
Meal that night.
Which, I don't know how the guy on the beach didn't hear her
I was just going to say that. I don't understand how that guy, slept through all of her screaming and everything. He must have been so freaking drunk that he was just dead to the world, because any other person that would probably hear that, I know if I heard that, I'd be awake and alert and be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only questionable scene I have, for sure. But we'll talk more about that later on, maybe. What's the next?
The next one, I believe, is, I could be wrong, is the dog.
Yeah,
that's in the water with the stick playing Pippin.
Yep.
And we don't see the shark take the dog, but we do see the piece of wood that the dog was playing with floating around in the water, and no doggy. So, and we didn't even hear a struggle or anything, so we think that somehow the shark got the dog.
Yeah, and apparently, for those listening, I did read up on this, and apparently there was a scene in the original Jaws that did include Pibbit. Although you never see the death of Pibbit and Jaws, it is presumed that he was killed by the shark.
So then we have the little boy on the raft the same day as Pippin the dog, and that's Alex Kittner. He was just, swimming around on his floaty raft, and out of nowhere he gets chomped and starts screaming, and everybody else at the beach starts panicking, of course. But it was during the day where Brody was trying to get the mayor to close the beach until they caught the shark, and the mayor was stubborn as hell and was like, no, we don't need to close the beach, we've already caught the shark, and clearly it's not the right shark, but he wants to believe that it's the shark anyways. So, because of the mayor's stupidity, three ended up dying that day. The dog, the little boy on the raft, Alex Kittner, and then the rowboat, sailboat skipper guy over in the pond area.
Well, let's backtrack for a minute. So, when you were talking about closing up the beach, here's a fun fact, possibly. So that tiger shark that everybody thinks is the real shark that was eating up everybody, according to this, the production flew in a 13-foot tiger shark that was caught off the coast of Florida to use for that scene where the townspeople strung it up on the dock, which everybody thought was the shark. The real-life locals were unable to catch a shark that big, but flying one in had its problems, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very interesting.
That is very interesting, actually.
But anyway, yeah, so you said fisherman, which clearly, I think that's the right one, too.
No, not the fisherman. I just mentioned the sailboat skipper guy, the guy over in the pond.
Well, the fisherman came
after, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, after? I thought it was before.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Anyway, yeah.
That was another one where Hooper and Brody were investigating the ocean at night. It was after It was after the tiger shark scene. So it came after the little boy and the dog.
Yep.
And the rowboat guy.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, well, let's cut this shark open and see what's the last thing that it ate. And Hooper cut it open and they didn't find anything but garbage and shit. So they're like, let's go out on the ocean. It was like nighttime. And we'll go and we'll look for it. Because it's a nighttime. It's probably nighttime feeding.
Right.
So that's where they find Meadows, the fisherman. Which you can talk about that.
Well, yeah, there isn't really much to say about that.
Well, what were the circumstances of them finding him? Like, what were they doing?
Hooper was investigating the broken down ship, and...
with a huge piece of the ship taking a bite out of it.
Right, underneath. Because he had to dive in under the water with the lights on so he could at least somewhat see, even though he had a flashlight and a knife, because he did pull out a big shark tooth that he eventually drops everything because the fisherman comes through, well, not really all the way through, but come to the...
popping out.
The broken piece of wood area, kind of like, hello, and that spooked them and everything else. So there was the fisherman guy.
Well, wouldn't that spook you if you saw like a dead fisherman guy like just bobbing out the side of the ship like that underwater?
I don't know. I couldn't say. So
I know it would scare the shit out of me because I wouldn't expect it.
I guess maybe I would get spooked, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would also be expecting it because it's just like, well, there's a giant hole. What else could there be? I mean... That's true. I mean, maybe, but then again, you don't really know what could have been in there either. It could have been like a gigantic eel, too, coming at your face, too. So you just never know. I don't know how... Nobody really knows how they would respond until it happened to them. So I can't say what would actually... be my reaction. But, okay, anyway.
So then our last victim that we see that Jaws claims
is the infamous scene.
Is the infamous scene that everybody who's seen Jaws cannot forget, is the death scene of Quint, the seafaring shark killer. Where Jaws pretty much does like a big ass giant freaking belly flop on the back of the orca ship and causes Quint to come sliding down at an angle right into Jaws' like mouth, which Quint tries to fight and not go into Jaws' mouth, but
it's just because of the angle.
It just no happens.
Yeah.
There's no saving him.
I do find it interesting after rewatching it, though, with Brody and his wife, when they were talking before they went out to the sea or ocean.
Oh, yeah, Alan.
They, Brody was looking through this book, and his wife was trying to calm him down and everything else, and then Brody is getting upset because his boys are like playing around this dock boat, and he trying to tell the boys, hey, that's enough, get off the boat, get back on over here. And the wife at the time was trying to be like, oh, they're fine, it's docked up, nothing bad's gonna happen. But then, like, you know, we get that really cool shot where, you know, she kind of opens up the book to this one particular page where we just see the shark biting the boat,
with
basically taking a board off the rowboat of the fishermen,
with a couple of kids.
And then she kind of changes her mind about them staying there to play because they're fine, to, you heard your father, get back here now. So it's
like,
almost
get out of the boat.
Yeah, because she realized that, no, I guess they're not really safe. So I find that part very powerful because, you know, you got that whole, the father trying to be worried, you got the mother that's trying to be like to settle, like, oh, everything's fine, nothing's wrong, they're just kids, they're just playing, and then all of a sudden you just show all you gotta do is just show the wife, like, this one thing, and then all of a sudden her whole mindset just changes within an instant, and then they start to agree with the husband, like, oh god, maybe they aren't safe, because as I just read and see this, then no, maybe there is a chance that this could happen. So, even to like a little boat that they were playing on. So,
which I'm sure if Jaws were to attack it, we would just take one bite and the kids would be gone.
Yeah, for how small that thing was, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like a canoe type of thing anyway. So
yeah, there's definitely not much to it.
No. It was almost like a kayak in a way, but it had like I think it had like a little sail to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, that's the whole Quint part that I wanted to add in there. Is that what we see there is basically the finale. It's like the shark is basically trying to sink the ship by breaking into it, by taking out the boards to make the boat sink and stuff like that. And then finally we just get, you know, the infamous ending where sort of, but before Quint's death, we do see Hooper go into a cage and go down to try to
poison it.
But unfortunately, Jaws is a little bit smarter. And I find it interesting, too, that this movie uses real footage between real shark footage versus the studio shark of Jaws. So 45 years later, it's kind of cool now to re-watch it as well, where you get that real footage versus the shark that they made for the movie. And apparently, the footage of the real shark was actually shot by Ron and Valerie Taylor in the waters off the dangerous reef in South Australia. It was with a short actor and a miniature shark cage to create the illusion that the sharks were enormous.
That's an interesting fact.
Yep. Another interesting fact is, real quick, there's a lot of interesting ones, but I was trying to find like the really most interesting one, not the most stupidest or most ass, but this one's interesting, because I don't even know if I really knew this, but I could have been wrong. But for those that maybe do not know, the movie Jaws was actually inspired by a real shark, because in 1916, New Jersey residents engaged in an active warfare with a shark that killed 4 people. The 4 people also included a 10-year-old boy amongst the attacks along the New Jersey shore. So I thought that was interesting as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that fact, but I had a feeling that the movie was based on an actual shark. I just didn't know the details of it.
Right.
Until now.
Yeah, very interesting. And the last little fact that people should know, but maybe don't know, is, so apparently some Jaws actually has a nickname. It's called Bruce, I guess. So, or rather from being one, the original Jaws 1975 starred not one but 3 mechanical sharks, collectively nicknamed Bruce, after director Steven Spielberg's lawyer. This shark rested on a platform when not in use to protect it from the salt water. Which I thought I read somewhere about that. Like, they only use the dummy shark when needed. Otherwise, the salt water basically is what damaged the shark, really. Because, yeah. I mean, salt water is very gruggy. That's why, like, you don't even want to drink it ourselves just because it's so bad for you. Like, if you drink it by accident even, it's just gonna upset your stomach, you're not gonna feel good, and, oh god, does it feel like it's forever before all the salt water is out of you.
I take it this is from personal experience you speak of?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I was trying to drink it, but it just happens.
I think one of the worst things that's ever happened, like saltwater, ocean water-wise, is having it go up your nose.
Oh, God.
Like the wrong way. Oh, God, yeah. It's, like, one of the worst feelings ever. I didn't personally, like accidentally drink it, but, like, it went up my nose wrong once, and it just awful.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so 45 years later, does it hold up? I would say yes.
I would have to agree with you on that. Yes, it does still hold up. Even 45 years later, it's a classic that just does not go out of style.
I mean, to me it holds up because even though we have real footage of the shark, like we just mentioned, like the real shark were from South Australia and stuff like that, and then you get the scene between the fake shark where you can obviously tell that's the fake one, even with Quint's scene, but still, I mean, it's a fun film. Back when you're little, it's not a fun film. You know, it's gonna scare your little brain. For sure.
Especially if you live near large bodies of water and you contemplate whether or not you want to go in those waters ever again after seeing this movie as a child.
Exactly. Now, is there any favorite scenes that you have, or is there any scene that you figure, that could have been better or something?
Obviously the infamous death scene of Quint is one of my favorites, but I do like some of the angles of Jaws, how he would stalk the boat, like the chum scene with Brody throwing chum off the back of the boat, and you just see Jaws just coming up the back end of the boat, just kind of going by like, oh, hey, I'm here. You throwing bloody chum off the back of the boat. Just like some of the camera angles that they used for Jaws' appearance was really cool, and Quentin's death scene is quite memorable.
Yeah, I think my favorite besides Quint scene now and stuff is, and not only with Brody destroying the shark and stuff like that, but we have to also give props to
Hooper in the shark tank.
Hooper in the shark tank.
The cage, yeah.
And because that real footage of the shark attacking the cage like that just showed the aggressiveness of what it could be like trying to escape for your life and be able to at least go and hide and not get your life taken like everybody else's has. And the only other favorite scene is, like I said, is where Brody's wife changes her mind from reading that one part in the book where the kids are okay, they're safe where they are at the docks, to, you heard your father, get off the docks right now, you're not safe. That whole scene there, I think, is very powerful because it just shows how much a character or even like a real family could protect their own family, because the mother was trying to do the whole like, oh, they're just kids, they're just playing, they're having a good time, nothing wrong. But then when you
see
witness
her motherly
something like she did in the book, where she just looks down and props open the book just to see the shark image that is turned into this rowboat of fishermen, basically, and just sinking their boat to get to them, you know, and then all of a sudden you just see her attitude change. I just think that's just one powerful scene.
Yeah, you legitly watch her motherly instincts kick in.
Exactly. Anything wrong? Well, like we kind of mentioned at the beginning, is the boyfriend that passed out on the beach when his girlfriend Chrissy was screaming her head off when she was being dragged off. I mean, was she that far out so that she couldn't really be heard, or like was the guy that drunk? I mean,
it raises so many questions, because I
don't want to say so many.
Well,
but
it raises quite a few questions. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, I mean, the only one that I can think of, unless you can think of more, but for me, it's just two. Is was she that far away that he could not hear her, or B, was he drunk or something like that, so that he just passed out on the beach, and that's why he couldn't hear anything until the next day?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Those would be the questions that I have. Like, was he that inebriated, like, intoxicated, that he just could not hear her? Because I would think, personally, if it was me, I would hear something like that.
Right.
And react. I don't know if I would go jumping in the water, swimming after her at that point, but I'd be probably trying to get some kind of help.
Right. Well, some sort of help, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, honestly, I can't think of anything else that I found bad or needed changes throughout the film.
Yeah, I don't have anything either.
I mean, I'm thinking even right now, like, I really don't know. Like, it's a good...
Yeah, it was pretty well
solid film. And for being 2 hours and 4 minutes, I think it's perfect I think it's the perfect length.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nowadays, movies that's an hour and a half long, I mean, it makes me wonder if we were to see Jaws today in an hour and a half film, how much of the movie would actually need to be cut now?
Yeah, and would it even be...
Would it live up to even what it is now, 45 years later? That's the thing. And so, I don't know. I can't think of anything else, but that's like the only question that came into my mind was the beginning, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't have anything either, because I agree with you about the opening scene for the beginning.
Well, okay, so what about the music? Everybody knows it's John Williams' music, and he's known for Star Wars, but what do you think John Williams for his music for Jaws?
I think the music that he chose to create for Jaws was very fitting. It created the atmosphere for the film.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows Jaws' theme, and we, to this day, still appreciate that Jaws theme. And we all know it, even when it comes on. We know it's Jaws. So, I think what John Williams did was he put out a masterpiece that we all remember. And it just stayed with us throughout our years, even 45 years later. Finally, we're gonna end it with this, and that is Tessa. If Jaws were to be told that we need to remake it, would Jaws need a remake or not?
I would have to say no, because Jaws is a classic. I would just say leave it the hell alone. It's perfect. It's great as is. It does not need to be remade, retweaked, whatever. it stands solidly on its own as it was originally made.
I agree with you. And to be honest, look how many fucking shark films there are nowadays.
Oh my god, I can't get over how many shark films you showed me.
Retarded or whatever you want to call shark films that just come out of East Bumfuck. And it's like, really? This is the next shark movie?
Yeah, Paul and I legitly were just sitting down one day and we were talking about doing this episode for Jaws. And then we got into the conversation of other shark movies and what ones I've heard of and what ones I've not heard of. And he legitly goes down the list and shows me a bunch of different trailers for a bunch of different shark movies that I didn't even know about. And some of these titles of these shark movies are ridiculous. Like, crazy. Like, Sand Sharks, Ouija Shark, like...
House Shark, Ice Shark.
So
Jurassic
many.
Shark. 3-headed shark, 2-headed shark, 5-headed shark, shark fucking Nadal that we all fucking know.
Freaking
Deep Blue Sea, the
whale shark.
Yeah.
Versus
the Sharktopus versus whatever.
Whale shark.
Whale shark or whatever. Like, it's...
Or were-whale.
Were-whale, yeah. It's just... There's just way too many shark movies. And at this point in time... we got now The Meg that came out. So, I mean... I think we got enough shark movies that we don't even need any remakes for any shark movies. So, if anything, they'll just think of something else. What's that other new one now that we got too?
47 Meters Down.
Yeah, we got that. So, and they just did a sequel to that damn film. It's like 47 Meters Down Uncaged or some shit like that. So, I mean, there's always something new. We honestly don't
need any more shark movies. And then half of these I honestly have not seen, but Paul has heard of.
I've seen some of these weird ones, and let me tell you, it's just like, it's like that famous line that I have and other people have. It's like, well, what the fuck are they gonna think of next? So, yeah. So, I think Jaws is fine the way it is, and if anything, somebody's gonna make up on the whole new shark movie that we are gonna regret, love, or just something.
Probably some kind of paranormal shark one.
Well, we got Ouija Shark, so that's already a paranormal one, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ouija Shark was the paranormal shark. Yeah.
Yep. So, there's that, ladies and gentlemen. That was our episode for the 45th.
Hopefully you enjoyed the listen.
Yep. Nice and short for you guys. We just wanted to put out our little thoughts on this. And hopefully, if you haven't rewatched Jaws, maybe now is the perfect time. Because, it's summertime, the beaches are out, some beaches may be closed because of the current situation in the world. But you know what? Still have fun.
And due to the current situation going on in the world, it still doesn't stop certain people from wanting to go to the beach anyways and flock it like they did in Jaws, so...
There's always that. But alright guys, thank you for listening. I was Paul Dolsky.
And I'm Tessa Baker.
And thank you for listening to the 45th anniversary of Jaws. And as always,
stay scary.